want to move to our second discussion this morning quickly. I want to start with you, Bishop Austin Igbasa. The issue of agitations across this country, I mean, the situation has become so rife and increasingly worrisome, right? There's the Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho issue there. There is the Nnamdi Kanu's issue there. I mean, extending all the way from the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and so on and so forth. Now, people are saying, can we not find political solutions to all of these problems? Because if we want the law to go the full hog, or the whole hog, as they say, Nigeria may become the so-called grass that suffers when two elephants fight and so on and so forth. As it stands today, do you see any chance that the political solution is possible?
Political solution is possible. It's quite possible, and I think it is just the way the federal government, you know, as a federal government, you have all powers in your hand. Apart from the power from God, you have all the powers. So, and I believe very strongly that when people are agitating, what is very, very important is that we need to call them and sit together. And I think that this is failure of leadership. All this agitation you are seeing today is a failure of leadership and failure of system, failure of the structures and system. Because I read about a woman during the 8 years of Barack Obama. That the woman stayed opposite the White House and raising a placard, even sleeping in that place and writing something derogatory about the man. The man drives around, and when he comes out, they have to see the woman there. But nobody arrests the woman, nobody beats the woman, nobody kills the woman. But if it happens in Nigeria here, if it happened in Nigeria here, if somebody that bear our president's name was in prison the other day for using that name to name his dog, as if this name is only meant for one person. And you know that even in outside land, they bear the name of their community. Yeah. That which means that man that called his dog this name is talking about our president. That's our nation. That's where we have gotten to. That he went through the court process, and you now send a man to jail because he named his dog Buhari. Now, these same people who are protecting their name now messed up the name of Jonathan when Jonathan was in power. There is no name they didn't call him. They call him fool. They call him all kinds of names. A man that have PhD. They rubbished him. All the people in government today call him one name or the other. I can start from the governor of Kaduna State. The name they call a PhD holder. Today he has become their bride now. Everybody is running around the man they call Satan that time. But that man throughout his time, with the way they messed his name, he never, I remember Dr. Oyegu also called him name as an APC chairman that time. Tinubu called him name. All the people in the nation, BC Akade called him name. He says it's a kindergarten president. But I think that name is a praise for a sitting president. Yet nobody was arrested. But we are in a country now that you dare not call. If you call your wife now, or you call your local government Aisha, you can be arrested for it because it is now. It's only one person that bear that name in the whole world. What I'm trying to bring out is that we have a government that does not believe in. Let us come and sit together. The agitation we are talking about, nobody, even God himself, he said, come, let us reason together. God, the Almighty God, said, come, let us reason together. You can look at who is God to humanity to be able to say, let us reason together. Even though your sin is, it shall be as white as snow. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 19 to 20, it says, let us reason together. Come, let us make man. Now, that is politics start from the Bible. He said, come, let us make man. When God was creating everything, God did not say us. He pronounces them. But when it comes to human being, that's why some people say human being are political. I won't use that language of animal. Now, but anything that has to do with humanity goes with unity. Every part of our system function in connection. Unity, yeah. So therefore, there is no part of our body that can function in isolation. So therefore, as a leader of a nation, it's a failure. Now, before they go ahead and prescribe IPOP, and they were going with a placard. They didn't carry gun. They didn't carry cutlass. Do you remember that women were sent to prison in the east? That they came out to protest that, oh, our boys are being killed. About 200 women were sent to prison until we started making noise that those women were released. On what condition do they send them? So we must, every father of a house must believe that my children have a stake. Every child in this house have a stake. You want to tell me that people should not agitate? Why? Today we are talking to all the security organ of Nigeria is ruled by people from one part of Nigeria. Some persons will do something now that you dare not take them to police station because they came from one part of Nigeria. You want people not to. Where is the sense of belonging? As far as security architecture is concerned today in this country. Now, I tell you today that the judiciary is headed by people, somebody from one place. The executive is headed by somebody from one place. The parliament today is headed by somebody from one. Have you ever had that one in Nigeria, that people from one part of Nigeria control the three organ of the government of democracy? It's not done. We must sit down together and be able to talk and discuss, because there is right for these people to say they want to leave. Why were they in hurry to proscribe them? What was the reason for proscribing that organization? Is it that protest is a sin? All the people seated today in this government, they protested 100 naira per liter fuel. Yeah. Today, in the name of Jesus, fuel is going to 400 naira. The people denied subsidy yesterday that said something does not exist. Today, they are paying through the back door with the name of all kinds of English. All English given to subsidy from every side. Whatever they do is perfect. I want to, even God that created us does not say we don't have a say as far as our life should be run. People say, Lord, I don't have children, give me children. I have children, I don't have money, give me money. Now, these people have right to protest, but as a father, as a leader, they need to be called. All the things that are happening now, if these people have been called and you give a sense of belonging, come and sit down. What are the issues you are talking about? What are the things that are your pain? Put them in paper. Okay, the answers we are talking about. If it happens in other countries, so a president will go there to go in the midst of his people and say, my children, what are the things presented before me? But we waited until when we get to where they started killing those people that came on peaceful protests are being wasted, and yet we are denying today that nothing like that ever existed. Now, how do you explain this one where people don't have a say, where they don't have a stake? Now, where you know you have a say and you have a stake, you will even. As we are talking today, what we are talking about in the East, all the operations that are going on there are people that are controlling the place in the army are from the North, in the East. And you know, if you want to solve that problem, if you take a man who is from that place to head one of the task force there, he will call the elders of the place and speak his own language and say, sir, I'm your son.
You're saying dialogue over violence. Yes. I want to ask you this, because we're time constrained, Bishop Igbasan. I want to ask you this quickly. The issue of restructuring has been here for a while now. I mean, people have said that in the last 2 years, Nigeria has talked more about restructuring than we've ever done in the history of this country. The question now is, somebody like Professor Jagat, former INEC chairman, is now saying that between now and 2023, Nigeria should be able to achieve a level of restructuring between now and the general election in 2023. Would that answer the questions we're asking right now?
Where was Jega when he was doing Ozigabuyaya election in 2015, where Elder Gosde Urubebe was standing and making some germane, very, very important thing, that the man is biased by himself, where they told him about 6 or 7 states, and they complained of underage voting and the rest of them, and they only mentioned something about Rivers State, and he deployed some set of people to go with private jet to go to that place. When Elder Gosde Urubebe was standing and saying, you are a biased umpire, you didn't look at what we submitted to you, look at the complaint we make. What is he saying now? When he's in position to do what was right, he failed to do that. If Jonathan is a man that have the kind of spirit they have now, the people in power now, the people that said, if you will lose election, Jonathan said, I will return to my village. They asked somebody, if you lose election, he said, I will congratulate myself. Then you put the statement side by side and look at it. Which one is democratic? This one, which one is undemocratic? If the person that is saying, I will congratulate myself, believes in INEC, is that statement say, I believe in INEC? Jonathan signed 48 hours some things about electoral act. But we did some and we wasted money. The other time, they said there is no time enough to sign. They have started one now to favor some people. Now, what we are talking about is that, you see, as far as this country is concerned, we have made our system so weak that it is men that are strong and system is weak. And that is why a man comes. I give you an example of Donald Trump. As far as Donald Trump, the system made him to come back. The system in America that cannot be manipulated, the system now made the man to, if it is Nigeria, that election you are seeing, the man sit down and decide. Yes. Here we see Supreme Court giving judgment that even our students, our children who has lost students, are ashamed of those kind of judgments. Today we see people give judgment, and tomorrow people are going to their house to go and embarrass them.
But I need to stop.
You are putting me embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed.
I mean, Bishop Igbasan should say it's a great point you're making with all of this narrative. But let me talk to you as I tie it up on the discussion this morning, Barrister Albayiwana. The elders from the east, the southeast, that is, had gone to see President Muhammadu Buhari a few days ago over the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, and he promised them that he would, in inverted commas, consider releasing Nnamdi Kanu. That sounds a bit ambiguous, especially when you look at the point that, I mean, look at it from the standpoint that President Muhammadu Buhari is not a court judge. And of course, he's not the one hearing the case, for example. So how much of sense do you make from that? Maybe you want to help us create a context from that conversation.
Well, it tells much, again, about the body language of the presidency. The matter is in court.
Right.
By law and by all standard of fairness, it will be sub judice for comments to be made concerning such matter. If there's anyone that should consider releasing him on the basis of exercise of discretion, judiciously and judicially, is by the presiding judge.
Okay.
And not the call of the president. Say, we consider releasing. So it's suggestive that you have some control, some level of control over the judiciary. You decide what happens. So if you say, okay, do this, they will do. If you say, don't do that, they will not do. Whereas the judiciary is supposed to be impartial and independent arm of government that should be to look at issues that are arisen. Now, there's an issue now that are arisen now between the civil, the ordinary Nigerian, which is not the Kanu, and the country, the federal government. Now, the Kanu said, I'm exercising my right to self-determination as contained in the African Charter on Human People's Rights. It's a right. A right to self-determination. It's a right. In that charter has been codified and has been received as a Nigerian law. It's contained in our laws of Federation of Nigeria. A right to self-determination. That is the right he was exercising. So he has not done anything wrong in speaking for his people. And he said, look, we want to enjoy self-determination.
But the federal government has said, look, our problem with him is the approach he adopted.
What approach?
For example, it was said to have been broadcasting in Nigeria without a license from the National Broadcasting Commission, for example. That is a crime, and they say it's tantamount to treason, for example. I mean, you are a lawyer.
If he made some broadcast, what is tantamount to treason in the broadcast he has made? If he made a broadcast without, what do you call it, without a license,
yes.
What is tantamount to treason? In the broadcast that he was making, just like he was saying even orally, he's calling for the right to self-determination of his people. It's a constitutional right, it's a salutary right that was exercising, just like Sunday Igboho, nothing wrong. So but the government felt the need, this man, what is wrong, what he's doing is wrong, he wants to overrun the government, he wants to overthrow the government, and then for that reason, we are going to put him in the cooler. They went for him. In a manner, he was arrested before he tried, he said, John Bay, you went and had an extradition edition to steal him away from the country that he was in without following due process and brought him here. His lawyers have 5 papers to see, for bringing him in, they are challenging your right to jurisdiction of the court to try him because you brought him in illegally. That's number one. Number two, you are trying for treason because it's a fundamental right to self-determination. That right, a man cannot be committing a crime when exercising a right that's contained in the Constitution. Unless, like I said, if he broadcasted without license, you are going to charge him on that one, fine.
That's a different ground.
It's a different ground entirely. Now, in all of this, matter pending before the court, which will exercise discretion to grant bail. We have observed that people over time, when they even go for the trial, they will force lawyers out of the courtroom. They will barricade the place and not allow people to come. They have to even go and get an order of court to tell the DSS and NSS to remove their barricade and allow people to have access to the courtroom. The courtroom is a public place. It's a public trial, not a private trial, not a secret trial. So allow people to see and follow through. In developed crime, proceedings of the court should be beamed live, so that everybody all over the world can see how transparent it is. But yet, it will be done in a secretive manner. And the way the matter is going on now, they have approached Mr. President. What I expect to say, okay, wait, the matter is in court, allow it to put through.
To run the full course.
Or you are simply say, okay, fine, because the right to enter a nolle prosecute, the federal government has the right to order the AGF, okay, in the light of all of these issues, issue a nolle, file a nolle prosecutor. We don't want to prosecute him anymore, in which case the matter will be taken away from the court. If that is what he's intending to do, to say, I consider releasing him, okay, maybe you are considering instructing the AGF to file a nolle, fine. But if that is not the case, or you are telling, considering releasing him on bail or whatever it is, It is not his call.
Okay,
it is
gentlemen.
that of the presiding judge.
As it always happens, this is where time will allow us to take this discussion. So I want to say thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasa,
Thanks so much.
Coming on the show this morning. Of course, Barrister Matthias Obayiwana, thank you as
you.
well for coming to share with us this morning. We'll take a quick break, everyone. We're back shortly with a handful of short interviews. Do stay with us here.